Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network, NFL news on Tuesday as a little bit of a stunning development in Indianapolis Colts camp as Daniel Jones, yes, that Daniel Jones has beaten out Anthony Richardson and will be the week one starter for the Indianapolis Colts. Um, a lot of ways that I can go with this. First of all, I have no idea what the Colts are doing. No idea what the Colts are doing because they obviously injuries have stunted, Anthony Richardson's development. They bring in a quarterback guy in Shane Steichen, and whether it be injuries or bad play, they've never been able to get this to work with Anthony Richardson. And I'm actually gonna real time here. I'm actually gonna pull up a statement because basically his agent basically said we have a lot to discuss to ESPN, and he said that the trust is a big issue right now, and it's just I really don't know what direction the Indianapolis Colts are going in. I'm not going to go as far as to say what RG3, because that guy's just a clickbait master, and say that they're trying deliberately to go get Arch Manning, and Arch Manning is now, kind of walked back some of his grandfather's comments about staying in school, and he may potentially be in play for the 2026 NFL draft. Um, but Anthony Richardson, he was the third quarterback taken in that 2023 NFL draft, where you had CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. And Bryce Young's already been benched. And he came back, and I actually am feeling pretty optimistic about Bryce Young. I love what Dave Canales is doing in Carolina. CJ Stroud has kind of regressed. Anthony Richardson's got a lot of positive going for him, because I think of those three guys, he's probably the best athlete. He's probably the best athlete of those two guys. But the problem is he's got a lot of raw nature to his game. And as a passer, he really hasn't come along as well as he could. The running aspect of him has always been interesting, but he makes a lot of really just terrible mistakes with the football. It doesn't take care of it. And so they go with Daniel Jones here. And for me, I I just don't know what the direction of this franchise is. Is this is is this basically what happened with Bryce Young in Carolina? I don't think it's necessarily that case, because that was Dave Canales 2 games into the season basically saying, "Hey, this guy needs some work. He needs to sit." Shane Steichen's been there. Shane Steichen, they were a game away from making the playoffs a couple years ago, and it didn't work out. They've got Tyler Warren. They've brought in some nice pieces there in Indianapolis, and you know Daniel Jones is probably listen. He. There's some aspects of his game that I like, but there's a reason why the Giants didn't want to keep him, and why the Giants got rid of him. Like, the fact that Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback, and you're saying that Anthony Richardson isn't ready over that guy, because Daniel Jones has accomplished things. Andy Dalton, with all due respect, Andy Dalton accomplished a lot of things in Cincinnati before he ultimately was the guy who replaced Bryce Young early on in that season. So if you want to make that comparison of what's going on here, you're more inclined to do that than me. But to me, I'm really concerned about Indianapolis and this, and frankly, like, if this doesn't work, I think Shane Steichen's going to be out of a job. Like, he was brought in there to develop Anthony Richardson. He was brought in there to do it. And yes, like I said, through injuries or bad play, this has got to fall on the QB guy, the QB whisperer who came in to be the head coach of this franchise. And the fact that even before the season, through a whole camp, you are completely just, saying, "Hey, we're going with Daniel Jones. So we're not starting the season with the guy." On some level, I can understand, hey, it's a little bit of tough luck, but guys, we've been through this for already a couple of years now. This is the third year for this guy. And, we've seen some glimpses of what he can be, but when you go into a season like this and, a division that's wide open, Tennessee's got a number 1 pick. Houston, won the division again, but you don't know what you're going to get. Jacksonville's really been on the downslide, but they might have improved a little bit. As a Browns fan, I hope they didn't improve, because the Browns own their draft pick, even though they gave him Travis Hunter. Maybe there's something I'm missing here, But to me, this is a really bizarre situation playing out in real time in Indianapolis. And now the fact is, hey, you're talking about the number 4 pick in the NFL draft a couple seasons ago, and now he's your backup. And you went with a guy that you brought in on a $14 million a year prove it deal, or 1 year, $14 million deal as a prove it thing for a guy who pretty much got thrown out of the other place that he was in because they didn't think he could perform. So maybe I'm missing something. Colts fans, get at me in the comments. Like, I know a couple people who are Colts fans, and it's just, this is a truly bizarre situation. And listen, I knew that maybe this was a possibility, but I didn't expect it to, be to start the season. I expected Anthony Richardson to start the season as the Indianapolis Colts as the starting quarterback, as QB1. But for Daniel Jones to beat him out in training camp, that's a couple things. Number one, it tells me that Anthony Richardson is not even near ready, but also that's a reflection on the guy that you brought in. The guy that you brought in to try and, resurrect this whole thing and, take this franchise in certain places. And like in year one, it was Gardner Minshew who almost got them to the playoffs. So maybe it's just, it's a bust of a situation. Maybe it's the coach isn't that good. You guys tell me. Like, I have no idea what to think here, but this is a situation that's going to be monitored throughout the season. Because like I said, the AFC South is a complete crapshoot. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know what to think of this division. So we're going to start doing division previews over the course of the next couple of weeks, sporadically, to try and sprinkle those in ahead of the season. Obviously, college football starts really soon. But yeah, this is a situation that really opened a lot of eyes. So anyway, thanks so much. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.